You read an extension, Peter? Do you read an extension? Very rare.
Kevin's doing one, and Brendan doing the other.
Tell counter, Peter.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Right. Rob's got it on.
It's set, set.
Yeah, sure. Documenting the overall history of the game.
Half-hour break after 2 hours.
There's many non-soul venues around here.
Wolverhampton there is.
I know I've got a catacombs bunch from the Wolverhampton. You know when it started there? Apparently.
One of the venues, yeah.
One of the first ones, the Twisted Wheel in the casino. The catacombs was one of the first ones. My mate told me all about the catacombs.
Yeah, it was starting in
And there was one in Leeds. There was a catacomb in Wolverhampton, there was one in Leeds as well.
It's quite big around Wolverhampton, the soul scene.
Is it?
Yeah, big, yeah.
It always was for Motown and ska and reggae in the blues prison and Coventry and Wolverhampton, places like that. Wasn't it?
There's a few big DJs around here, yeah. Pepper, Neil Pepper, Pep, his name is Pepper. One of the big promoters.
I went to Australia in 1982.
But Pepper's on the scene in the 70s. He virtually ran all the venues around here in the 70s. Oh, I still
I didn't go in the 70s, then we started going in Australia. Then we started going in the 90s. Yeah. You know. We should go to the Irish club in Subiaco in West Australia. It's music. The first time I did Frank Wilson was in there.
to the semi-finals of the World Championship, where Mr. Peter Sheehan and Peter Gilchrist play on table 3, and we have Rob Hall and David Causier playing on table 1. So the first session will be for 2 hours, then there'll be a half-hour break, and then a final session of 2 hours for the semi-final. So,
Brennan Devil's referee and
what?
Brennan Devil's referee.
Oh yeah, right, you know. We have Bernard Devlin over the far side referee, and we have our own little leprechaun, Kevin Christie refereeing on table 1.
Big cardinal.
A very good referee, both of them. Right, everybody's ready. 2 hours, play.
Welcome everyone. You're watching the semi-final of the World Billiards Championship 2023, live from the Landy One Snooker Club. My name's Jason Colebrook, and I'm joined by Chris Coombe. G'day, Chris.
How you going, Jason?
We're in for an interesting match.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, Dave Causier is just in fantastic form. He had a comfortable win there over Steve Brookshaw in the quarterfinals. So.
The other semi-final is Peter Gilchrist versus Peter Sheehan. And that could be a very interesting game.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. Peter Sheehan has had a couple of wins over Gilchrist in recent seasons, last year or so. And we know he's been playing extremely well lately, so yeah, very hard one to call that. And I wouldn't be surprised if that one is a close finish.
Yes.
But, you know, this match could also be close. Obviously, it goes without saying, but Rob just needs to get off to a good start. He doesn't want to give Dave too many chances early on. But we know both players are capable of knocking in, 500 plus breaks. Rob himself had a 4.95 in a tournament about a week or so ago. He's had 500 breaks in WBL events this season, or this year rather. So should be a great match. And of course, we're playing over 4 hours now, so plenty of time for both players to get stuck in.
Yeah, 2 2-hour sessions with a half-hour break. This is a great club, Landywood Snooker Club in the Walsall area, not far from Birmingham. Really good club. 4-star tables in this room, 8 tables in the other room, bar facilities, food, a lounge. Very friendly people, great club. So we're playing on a star table here, heated slate, strawn 10 cloth.
A safety miss there from Causier, sending his cue ball behind the bulk line to make it a bit tricky for Rob to make a break from here. So he's got some work to do to get that white into a good position.
So often the plan here is 2 pots off the spot, get that red in the centre and line yourself up for a cannon to recover that white. He hasn't got a great angle though to do that. Had a bit of a each way bet there.
Rob Hall, 3.
For anyone who hasn't watched Causier before, and there's probably not many people who haven't, very quick player. Very little hesitation.
Absolutely, and scores obviously, as all the top players, extremely heavy top of the table play. He's not afraid to use the postman's knock form of top of the table either, is he, Jason?
No, the 650 odd break he made last year in the World Championship was all postman's knock. And I was talking to him about it afterwards, and he said that once he has the feel of the pace off the side cushions, he loves postman's knock. He feels that there's just a lot less can go wrong.
Yeah, and that's for those that are not familiar with postman's knock, that's when the opponent's cue ball is tight on the top cushion, right behind the red spot. And it's a series of cannons and pots. Sometimes the players will play 2 pots to each cannon, or sometimes it'll be cannon, pot, and so on. But sure we'll see some of that during this match. But looks like first chance at top of the table goes to Causier, just manoeuvring that yellow ball into the best position.
He has a slightly unusual style, Dave. He has his head tilted slightly to the side and gives it a little extra tilt as he plays the shot.
23.
Well, I had a bit of a lean into that one.
Yeah, and I suppose quite a short sort of backswing, really. No longer than it really needs to be, I suppose. And great potter as well.
Yeah, very solid pot.
28.
And that's like a Causier special, that shot. The position's not great. He just steps up and goes whack and usually ends up with something.
Yeah.
It looks like he's just gone whack. There is a plan, but he takes absolutely no time to formulate the plan.
So there's been a bit of a sort of few safety exchanges in the opening part of the other semi-final at the moment. Still very early days, of course.
So wherever you're watching from, please say hello in the comments. Let us know who you are, where you are. Any questions? There's a slim chance we'll be able to answer them for you. It's a nice shot.
40.
Just run a little bit far for the drop cannon. Might see a thick long Jenny or no screwing off.
43.
Greetings from Bristol. Someone called Seven Daughters. Do you think he has 7 daughters or he's one of the 7 daughters?
Oh, that's a good question. Yes,
She, I mean. I suspect it's a gentleman who has 7 daughters or is working his way towards it.
47.
Also got a viewer from Norfolk in the UK. So, yeah, I hope you're enjoying this coverage.
Maintaining the mystery. That's a shot you don't see many of the top players play.
50.
Tend not to like trying to screw across the table for position because it can go wrong like that.
Yeah, I suppose to finish ideal after that shot, it needs to be very precise, doesn't it? And over that distance.
Look at that
Oh,
for
for
a
me,
class shot. A bit lucky with the yellow, but 2 cushion cannon, great drop on the red. That's just so Dave Causier. He looks like he's in trouble, and all
It just
of a
never
sudden-
seems to phase him, even if the balls just go slightly out of ideal position. He just sort of continues ruthlessly.
Ian Whiting's knocked off work to watch from reading.
58.
Another moon cut.
You made a panel.
No, it's
I think my mates in Australia who were saying hello earlier, they'll be in bed by now.
60.
unless they're on night shift, I suppose, and managing to
yeah.
catch some billiards in the background. Wow, God. Causier certainly got a grip on that keyboard there. What a great. Well, it's very
Stephen
well
Berry
cued.
from Huddersfield.
65.
This is just slightly thinner than a natural half buoying off.
Roger Davies has said hello. I think that's not the Roger Davies referee in Australia. I think that might be the Englishman who lives in Spain. Deepest, darkest Lincolnshire. Christopher Melbourne. Good that we're getting a few people watching and commenting.
Michael Day, good friend of mine from Plymouth area, southwest of England, doing a great job with looking after our social media as well during this event. So
Okay.
and yeah, very grateful for that. And there's nice daily reports as well, which have a nice summary of what's been going on here in Landywood.
So this is a bit of a tricky shot. This is the other table. Oh no.
6.
That was well played. Has to hit this very thin. Yeah, it's a tough shot. Very tough on the start tables.
Yeah, any sort of glancing of that first jaw is
Yeah.
often, and sometimes when the in-offs are a bit narrow like that, the cross loses, you can play with check side, but I think that doesn't always work very well on these tight tables because it could be the wrong side on the cue ball to take it into the pocket.
Dinesh Bajaj from Melbourne. You're up late, Dinesh.
So,
I think Dinesh played in New Zealand recently. Won the Challenge Cup over there.
9.
Vanessa Hall, come on, Rob. I'm guessing that's a relative.
Kevin Christie is the referee from Ireland.
12.
He's refereed many big matches over the last few years and a regular on our circuit. Yeah, great guy, good company.
Yeah, good guy. He's very popular with the players and the other referees.
Slow and off yellow leaves a nice red to yellow drop cannon.
Oh, these are nice, these drop cannons, red to yellow.
21.
Seem to get a better result than the other. Oh, it's turned ugly.
Yeah, if you get the
I've
right
given that
position,
kiss
the
of
balls
death.
just sort of naturally seem to drop nicely, don't
Yeah.
they?
You'll probably send this red up and down the table, try and get in behind. Oh, no.
23.
Clever shot. Hasn't worried about the yellow. That looks almost perfect.
31.
So another drop cannon, this time yellow to red.
so much easier when that second ball's well off the cushion.
So, forty.
These days, everyone's quite used to seeing the World Snooker Tour stats and the average shot times. Most of the players are around the 25-second mark, a bit less. Causier would be way under 10 seconds.
Yeah, it would be interesting to see if we had that information. Yeah, I mean, Peter Sheen would certainly be up there in the
Yeah.
average shot times as well.
I was at one tournament, there was a tournament director and players were complaining about someone's slow play. So I put the clock on them, 11 seconds was their average shot time, and people were complaining how slow he was.
Wow.
53.
It's a much faster game and a lot less safety.
Yeah, one shot sort of, especially at the top end of the table, one shot tends to flow sort of naturally into the next one when a player's on a good break and good position. And that, as we see a bulk line crossing, not a mandatory one, but
You don't have all that walking around the table to look if there are plants on or... It's a very fast game.
Sixty-two.
so Causier is almost, well, just over 100 ahead. Early days, of course, but Rob's not really had a great deal of chance to get his arm going again in this semi-final.
Might see a very long drop cannon here. Thick, bring the red down into the corner.
69.
I like that shot when the pot in the middle's very tough. Robert Marshall's just said hello. We were just talking about you last night, Robert. Why aren't you playing billiards?
Yeah, hi Robert. It would be great to see you back playing again. And yeah, hopefully, in the near future, it would be great to, I know you've played against all these guys at a very high level. So yeah, I hope you're keeping well.
Well, below, back home in Southampton. That was quick. I thought I saw him here an hour or so ago.
Yes, there's a little brief score update there from the other table. We might be able to catch a quick glimpse of that just when we have a moment. But the two Peters, Peter Sheen and Peter Gilchrist, doing battle over there on table 3.
8. 10. 13. 15.
Your score's so fast. You can just have a quiet 10 minutes against him and suddenly you're 200 plus behind.
Yeah,
19.
just relentless scoring even when the balls are not in perfect position.
Yeah.
I know we talk a lot about tables in commentary, but just any differences to the tables, the way they react one to another, it just seems to be all calculated just instantly.
Yep.
bit of a glimpse there of the other table. Peter Gilchrist in play at the moment. That's over the other side of the room, so we'll try and keep you up to date with what's happening there.
31. Four.
We've seen quite a few drop cannons so far. These obviously it's one of the shots that these top players often leave themselves to get to the top.
39.
There's another one there.
Paul's just posted. Is that Paul from Scotland? Or is that a similar name? Just a similar name.
44.
So we're going to have a few different commentators taking part, so it'd be nice to hear a wide range of views and opinions on the game and knowledge, but we'll shortly be introducing Peter Tankard from Australia. So we'll leave you in his capable hands in a moment. I think Jason will remain here for the time being. So
Yeah, for a little while you have two Aussies, mate.
55.
Nice little drop cannon.
57.
Just not quite right. Oh, lovely shot. So thin on the yellow. Actually, he's gotten a bit too much of the red after.
62.
Hey, Peter.
Good afternoon, Jason.
How are you?
Thanks, mate.
55. 67.
How did you fare in the tournament, Peter?
Oh, it was a bit disappointing, Jason, I've got to say, but probably a reflection of the amount of work I put in.
It's a great club, isn't it?
Fantastic club. Bit different playing on these star tables. I know we did it at Rosser in Singapore last year, but for most of our billiards players, this is a very different experience to.
Foul.
Tried to chip the red on the way through, just missed it.
Yep, Causier. 69.
So Rob Hall's first real look at the balls since the match started.
Yep.
So this is actually a snooker cloth, a number 10, Strawn's number 10 cloth, and virtually napless. So
As we discussed in the last match, he'll just play this round off 2 cushions. They don't try and bring this off 3 cushions on the faster, slipperier cloths. He's got that a little bit thick. It's not quite what he wanted.
and he's left it not in drop cannon position, so now he's just got a white loser. That's
So this is the shot that we used to call the pair of trousers. He has to be careful not to pot the white. He's going to try the thin cannon with check side, I think.
yeah, doesn't want to risk losing.
He'll
that
really
one.
crunch the check side on this.
4.
So there's no way of controlling that shot. That's not too bad a result.
How did you find the star tables to play on compared to what you used to?
Very similar. Yeah, very similar. I found, well, they're a little bit slower off the cushion, but that's because our cloths were sort of 4 or 5 months old in Singapore.
9.
But no, they're quite nice. You know, the knees tremble when you have a pot along the top rail.
Sure.
There's just no margin for error.
11.
I found them a tiny bit slower than the Riley Silvers in the other room.
Yeah, when the heating was on anyway. in the other room.
Yeah.
It wasn't consistent. Some days the heating was on, some days the heating wasn't on. Now, what's Rob got here?
It's tricky. Thin in off the white, or he can jack up the butt of his cue and try and get a stun off the red. He's obviously having a think about it. Unless he tries to pot the red. He's a pretty solid pot, Rob.
Very solid pot.
You know,
Still not solid enough.
he played in a snooker tournament in Australia, which is a lead up to the Pacific International Billiards, and I think he made the semis. Definitely
yes, he
made
did.
the quarters.
Yes, he did.
He's very solid pot. G'day, Angus. No, we don't have a new venue for Rosser at this stage.
So you might explain what Rosser is, Jason.
So Rosser is the Ronnie O'Sullivan Snooker Academy. Opened in November 2 years ago in Singapore. Really just a fabulous venue. 12-star snooker tables, 16 Rasson pool tables, loads of space around the tables, high quality CCTV on every table. Unfortunately, the building is being demolished, and so we had to find somewhere else, and we've just been unable to find somewhere. I was lucky enough to be invited to come from Australia to work at Rosser, and it's been a fabulous 2 years. I've really enjoyed it there. But it may rise from the ashes somewhere, sometime. We'll just have to see how it goes. Our members are devastated because they've got to play in fantastic conditions. We recover the tables every 6 months. The number one table's recovered about every 6 weeks.
6 weeks, is that all you're getting out of a number 10 these days?
No, there's one wealthy chap who likes to have it recovered
A benefit.
at his expense. Yep.
10.
It's a lovely drop. It's a really classy shot. So yeah, no, it's a real shame. Hey, Darren Taylor, New Zealander now living in Queensland. Big loss to the sport in New Zealand. He was a very good organiser and loves his billiards, both as a player and as a referee. I think Darren was a referee in the 2019 World Championship and player in the 2022 World Championship.
15.
Gather them near the top. Rob really needs to make a break to put some pressure on Dave.
For all of you club players, just have a look at how much the cushions are sliding. See if you can predict where the ball's going to end up when it hits the cushion, and invariably you'll find that it's coming more obliquely off the cushion than you would have thought. These guys are used to making that kind of an accommodation in their game. But the lesser players do struggle with the changes in conditions.
Yeah, playing a cannon off the cushion, you've sort of got a spot where you normally spot and then move the cue ball substantially to allow for the slide. So this is perfect for Rob.
Greetings, Mac Rinkowitz. Another Victorian, Jace.
I didn't see Mac's post. Oh, Mad Mac. G'day, Mad Mac.
One of the
We were
game's
talking
great
about you
characters.
yesterday. Talking about the various characters in the sport, and I was talking about the people I used to have a regular hit with.
40.
He's not mad. He's just clever.
43.
I don't know if you saw the quarter-final, Mac. Martin Goodwill played a couple of shots with his 3-foot bass AQ.
48.
You know, Martin won't let anyone measure that cue.
Yeah.
The rumour is it's 2'9" and 11.5 inches.
53.
He likes to keep them guessing.
55.
That's perfect floating white there. That chipping the white back up off the cushion, leaving a nice little angle on the red.
58.
This is where Rob's most comfortable, isn't it? And he really needs to put in a big one here to get back to parity with Dave.
Grant Medley, hello. Are you up late or are you up early? Grant's from Sydney.
60.
Sure.
That's a lovely shot. Just a little gentle soft screw cannon.
62.
A little hard, maybe.
Yes, I thought he'd play that softer.
So, a shot we call the miff in Australia. Screw back off the white, bring it back off 2 cushions.
64.
Ooh, careful.
Oh, nothing in the two Peters match at this stage. No, Grant's up late. What a great shot.
Yeah, look at the
What a
the length
great
of that
shot.
screw back. Well, Strawn's 10 makes it a bit easier, doesn't it?
Lined it up all of about 3 seconds.
Yeah. Both these players just natural hitters. Or maybe they just make it look natural because they're so practiced.
69.
Rob does a lot of coaching these days. He has a very informative website as well.
This is over in Canada recently, helping the fine gentleman at the Winnipeg Veterans English Billiards League over there.
74.
74, so he's approaching the balk line warning. The in off the white looks a lot easier.
Where's he bringing this white to? Middle of the table?
Yeah, I think that was a case of just make the shot.
76.
Not good, he's lined them up.
So he's looking to see if he can make this thin in off the red. I think the
He thinks he can.
surprise he doesn't play white cushion red using the slide to his advantage. I think that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Head into white down behind the spot.
Now
Play
watch
this
where
with
this
a
yellow
ton of
hit.
side.
78.
Yeah, nice shot.
Great shot.
That was a better shot.
Bottling money at 80.
G'day Vince, how are you? Another one up late in Australia.
Oh,
Drop. Oh,
Valhalla,
Right.
81. Two.
not a second's hesitation there. Pot oppo.
yep. White double balk.
5.
Well, takes 3 points along the way and gives up 2.
Probably send this 1.5 times across the table,
Miss. Bob Hall 2.
just like that.
Dave Causier,
Good
5.
judge.
He's given himself, that's a perfect way to play that. He's got the option of in off
Yes.
the red or pot red,
Yes.
which means regardless of where Rob puts his white, he can make a plan.
Yep. So does Rob have to attack this?
Now Rob will try and bring his onto the ball cushion inside the ball line,
Causier 2.
just like that. Good pace.
So effectively, he's conceding a number of points.
Yep.
The Indians, who usually play that safety, estimate, and evidently they've studied it,
3.
that you'll give up about 20 points
Average, yep.
average. Doesn't reach. Oh, just reaches.
I don't know whether you could pick that up. He played that pot with a little bit of right-hand side. The reason is it helps you turn the red. When you've got a cut like that, you can use the side to turn the red a little bit more, and it holds your cue ball a little bit with a touch aside against the nap. You don't often get to see that up close like that.
Is he going to dig it out? No, he's just missed it.
Well,
We might see a big screw back and red round the table, or he might play the Jenny. No, the Jenny's on. Good camera angle.
Look at the spin on that cue ball.
15.
Sam Jones is our videographer, does a great job.
So he's trying to bring the red up close to the balk line so he can recover that yellow ball.
So yeah, that's one plan. The other plan is to get yourself 2 pots off the spot.
Come up
Play
the
a
middle.
cannon with the red in the middle. I think he'd prefer to play the cannon, but you're risking, leaving the red too close to the balk line. Even though we're counting hazards.
Yep.
So that one, I think he would have preferred to have an easy 2 pots off the spot.
That's in no man's land there.
Causier 24.
So the Indians are right. That was about 20.
Tricky little shot here for Rob. Yeah, lovely shot. They're not easy, those, into a blind pocket.
Yeah.
2.
You get that tiny bit of throw off the first ball, which narrows the angle. Hurts you rather than helps you. Long loser. Oh,
Ooh,
he missed that by a long way.
could miss that. That's bread and butter for a billiards player.
Yeah.
Look at the side on this.
Great playing with these Pro Cup spotted balls. Aramis.
Fantastic. And great to watch too.
Yeah, you get to see so much more.
7.
I really don't know why snooker doesn't change to a spotted cue ball. I know Sean Murphy is always asking when can they have a spotted cue ball.
I was talking to somebody about that, and they said that
10.
the issue was that they introduced it without consulting the players, and the players then objected that they felt their rights had been trampled, and they haven't tried again since.
It's just great for the spectators.
14.
That wasn't a great shot, but he's left himself a fairly easy cannon. Needs a good pot now.
From mid-distance, not easy. Lovely stone pot.
19. I believe Dave's changed jobs. I'm not sure, but
He used to be a bar manager, and he'd go to his club for an hour every single day before work. I'm not sure what his practice routine is at the moment, but he'd do 1 hour of solo every day.
28.
There's Grant Meadley being typically facetious. Mac loves these balls.
Mac would like to
hates
play
these
with
balls.
ivories.
Mac hates these balls. He thinks they're far too bouncy compared to what he learned with.
Two.
Aramis are one of the sponsors of World Billiards. They provide us with a whole bunch of balls every year or two. The embedded scoring in this is from ProScore. ProScore is another of our sponsors. Thanks, Bill Chan from Sydney.
It's the only scoreboard that
38.
handles billiard scores, isn't it, really?
Yep.
Because we keep going past 147, of course.
It's a very good system. And you can do,
40.
15 red snooker, 6 red snooker, any number of reds you like.
Yes. Or 200 red snooker if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It goes up to 1,000 plus.
32.
It's such an interesting shot. He's just elected to keep the balls close before manipulating them to top. So white behind, yellow behind.
Yeah,
the
that's
pot.
a very clever shot. That's the guys that I work with in Singapore.
Ooh, that's an uncharacteristic miss.
The guys I
can't
work
believe
with,
it.
I'm always saying, keep them close or keep them in front of you. You can always fashion something.
Yeah.
Even if you keep them close and you're in between them, there's always a screw back or a piqué or...
So is this a skinny cannon? Very skinny cannon. Oh, that's glorious. What touch? What touch?
Five. Eight.
Not a standard drop cannon here, but he'll make a cannon, so his next score must be the red, really.
10.
Yeah, so that hasn't worked out. An easy
It
run
isn't.
through and off the white.
Easy might be overstating a lot of start.
No, he's going to play a cannon across the table and bring the red up and down, I think. No, he's made a fool of me.
12.
Well, that's a clever drop on the white,
It is,
but
but
the red's got a long way.
red's a bit dodgy.
And he's underhit that a little. Yeah, makeable though. A little bit thinner than half ball, loads of side.
Does he try and bring it up to the red?
No, I don't think he can hit it hard enough for that.
16.
He gave it his best shot.
He would have got too much throw, I think,
Yes.
if he hit it any harder than that. This is all right though.
18.
Look how that red comes down the table because of that cushion slide.
Yeah. There's shots that are on when the cushions are this slidey that are not on normal type.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Oh, 18.
There's a bit of a sense that they're just not coming quite right for Rob. And that could easily be the table as much as the way he's playing.
Nice screwing off there from Causier.
Now, will this come all the way down the table as well, off the side cushion? The red?
Can't see that from this angle. He may just chip the red over the middle pocket,
5.
like that.
You're right. They've promoted the yellow towards the spot. Bit more work to do yet.
Couple of choices. 3 choices.
10.
I would not have predicted that one.
No, I would have thought that was choice number 3, but I'm sure he had a plan. Very confident at pumping that red in, running around the table.
Yep. Might see another one. No, just drops it and tries to sit the half.
He's
ball
actually
on. Come up
underhit that
bit
a
short.
little.
16.
Needs a lot of good cut, good shot. Look at the pace of this.
Sure.
No, it didn't
Needed the
quite
joy.
work out. Moved the red 25 feet. It went 6 inches too far.
Careless. Careless, I call that.
24.
Choice of 2 losers here.
I think he'll play the red.
Old Marshall always said play the back ball.
27.
Yes, the one furthest away.
I've never known why though.
I
29.
think generally you have more control over the one that's closer, but not always. Brian chipped this down there.
Is that the drop cannon?
No, he didn't like it. He's going to bring it back up.
Bit short. So now I can bring it around to the spot and leave a drop cannon. No, cushion slide. Look at that. Wow.
Let's see if we can get a score update on the other semi-final soon.
39.
Yeah, this is looking dangerous.
41.
Top.
Ricky
2 inches too far.
can make a little soft screw running side cannon. Just like that.
48.
Made that look easy, didn't he?
Didn't even think about
Yeah.
it. He doesn't agonise, does he?
No.
51. 54. 56.
So Peter's nearly 300 ahead in that game.
59.
Sheehan 87, Gilchrist 366.
Be fair to say, Jason, that the
2.
usual offenders have occupied the 4 semi-final spots.
Oh.
Cover, comprehensive cover here. Deep trouble.
And he doesn't have a 6-inch mass AQ.
Just so 1, 2,
Might
3,
be able
4
to go around
cushions.
the table.
Right.
Oh, he's trying to go up and down.
Causier.
Oh no, I think he's tried to play safe.
He's just left Rob Hall with the problem. I think Rob
Yeah,
can make a little
tricky.
screw cannon here.
Quite tricky. He's so close to the red.
So this is now Stan Moody's home club, who's a rising snooker star.
So the first day when I called in here, Stan was here. Joe Perry,
Yep.
Ryan Thomason.
Okay.
The next day, Brianne Evans was playing Stan.
It's a beautiful club. I mean, the facilities are second to none in terms of the qualities of the tables, and
This is a great shot from Rob if it gets there.
be kind. I think
look
his
at
angle.
that. His
I
angle.
think his angle.
That's so unlucky. It was a great shot.
I don't think he can even see the red.
On these star tables, you can be angled on almost half the table.
Yes, yes. Look at that. Yeah, the fall of the pocket on the star tables. The draw openings are not dissimilar to other tables, but the fall of the pocket is so much further inside. In fact, if you just look at the middle pocket now, see how little of the actual whole of the pocket
Yep.
that you can see. And that's one of the real challenges. You have to get that ball into the heart of the pocket. You can't really cheat it at all and
No, it
expect the
can-
ball to drop.
Can rattle across from one rail to the other without ever reaching the fall
Yep.
very easily.
Yeah. It really makes it a totally different game. So things like long jennies are very, very difficult on these tables. On a standard club type table, it'll hit the far jaw and spin into the pocket, but
And the ball won't curl in on the strong
doesn't
10.
curl on the cloth. Doesn't curl on the cloth.
We used to play all these tournaments on 30-ounce 6/8 double one, and the ball will curl on
Yep.
that cloth.
Yeah.
The older the cloth, the more curl you get.
Yep. And when it was a little bit furry, and even the 32 ounce, you could touch the rail 3 and 4 times coming
Yeah,
down
yeah.
with a long jenny and still make the shot. But here, you touch the rail, it's gone. Ugly here. Let's see what he does. 2 cushion cannon.
No, he'll play the screw in
Screw
off,
in
I
off.
think. Beautiful shot.
Yeah.
Beautiful shot.
Having just said how hard it is, he makes it look easy.
Highest break for the tournament so far is Dave Causier, 488. Oh,
Just died on that one a little bit. Didn't seem to push through.
yeah.
Shake
But
of the
look,
head.
he's not left Rob anything nice again.
No, he hasn't.
Don't-
Anything
Even if
Rob-
Rob posts this red and runs through, I don't know if he can get in off that white. Going to have a look.
It'd be fair to say that anything Rob scored, he's earned.
Yep.
David has left him absolutely nothing. Every time he comes to the table, there's another puzzle to solve.
He must have decided he could get in off that white from down there. Dave's are angled on this red.
Then there is justice,
Safety. You don't see that very often.
especially not from David. Dave's been pretty dominant, but Rob Hall has recorded the odd victory against him in the last couple of years, hasn't he?
Yes,
Was it the Irish Open?
I think you're right. And Rob has made a 500 this year.
He's come back into form. I think he had a quieter couple of years, especially around the COVID time, but now he's played himself back into form, and I think he's a bit more settled on the home front. He's a married man now, of course, having married the lady who was the reigning world women's billiards champion, Australia's own Anna Lynch. And I think they've been pretty happy, and it seems to be reflected in Rob's game. He's in a good place, and he's got a live-in practice partner.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yes,
close.
the pandemic was not kind to couples from different countries. I was in a similar situation.
Yes, you were.
And then you've got to battle immigration authorities.
And medical authorities. And
Yeah.
Is this a pot oppo?
Oh,
Should have been a pot oppo. When we say pot oppo, that's an Australian expression, pot the opponent.
he left just enough.
2.
So that yellow's come all the way down because of that sliding cushion from a position that you wouldn't expect.
And
to be able
the
to
check
get
side helps you to bring it down too. You can
Yep.
increase that slide effect with a bit of side on it.
9.
So this is David's typical version of loose top. Be fair to say he's not the kind of precision top of the table player like, say, Mike Russell or a Matthew
No, he's
Bolton. But he's more creative. In many ways, it makes it more interesting to watch because he moves the he moves the balls around a lot.
Yes, I've never seen him try to keep that white up and down the line like the textbooks say, like the other guys try to do. Mike Russell's probably the
Causier, 18.
agreed master at getting that white up
Greatest
and down
exponent
Yep.
that we've seen of that precise method of floating
Yep.
floating white. I was talking to Robbie Foldvari about that, and he said that what helped him win his first World Billiards Championship was using what in Australia we call Mertz method, but which over here was largely the work of Jack Carnham, and that was to keep the opponent's ball travelling up and down on what Robbie described as a 6-inch line from just next to the red spot down towards the top cushion. And then Mike Russell came on the scene and was able to do what Robbie used to do in 6 inches in only 3 inches.
Yep.
And that blew Robbie away that somebody, a kid at that stage, could have that kind of control.
Causier, 6.
Yes, Peter and Mike are both about 55 years old, both from the same area, and they were both, 100 break players at 18 years old.
And more.
Yeah.
In fact, they burst onto the scene in Lura in Sydney, where they contested the, outside of Sydney, up in the Blue Mountains, where they contested the World Billiards Championship. And I believe it was the first time ever that 2 teenagers competed in the World Championship final. And everybody was just stunned. These kids came from nowhere and could do everything and do it easily. And the older established players then, your Rex Williams and your Michael Ferreras and even Eddie Charlton used to have a lash at billiards. They're all just blown away at these kids from nowhere. And they're still doing it today.
They've both got great techniques.
Oh,
Peter has been the national coach of Singapore at one stage. Mike's been the national coach of 2 or 3 different countries.
Qatar currently.
Yeah, Malaysia at one point.
Yep. Yes, that's right. He was too. I mean, it'd be great to see Mike back in a position where he could play. He can't play at the moment because he's working for Qatar, and Qatar are part of a group of countries, the Asian Confederation, that don't like the fact that tournaments are being run that they don't control. So it's created a very unfortunate rift in the game.
Rob on 13.
Wow, that's a good shot.
Stun over that distance
Wow.
with control.
And all
That's
of 1
great.
second to line it up.
Yeah. I think every other player on the planet was trying to calculate how it works off the cushions. He
Yeah.
just goes, nah. Here we go, we're getting whack it.
Oh, has it come out of balk? No, it
I
hasn't.
don't think it was.
Going to line him up here, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dave Causier 7, Rob on 2.
So he's taken away all his angles. And again, Rob has to work very hard for an opening shot. Very similar margins in both the matches. Peter Gilchrist leads Peter Sheehan 421 to 101. And here Dave Causier 411 to Rob Hall's 150.
Great.
Oh, super shot.
Great pot. And he's left the half ball drop cannon.
He has two.
What a good
super
shot.
shot that was.
What a good shot. Probably has to play this a little bit thick with a bit of check.
5.
Oh, it'd be nice if he makes a break off that. That's a
Yeah,
great get-in shot.
It deserves it. It deserves it. Not happy with the position yet. He's going to do one more drop cannon to try and get that white back across closer to the spot. It's a bit hard to get it there with these slidey cushions from there. He'd like to be the white ball a little further up towards Borg, I think.
Oh, yeah, that looks better. I'm surprised he was playing it that narrow.
You can't get it all the way across because it's sliding. So, a dicky screwing off. These can go
He
wrong.
may play the cannon. He may play the cushion cannon.
Yeah, it might be a wiser idea.
Oh,
Oh!
9.
If there's space, it'll get around it.
yeah. Can't remember where it is. Might be New Zealand. The expression is made round to go round. In Victoria, we say room round the back.
Yeah. Gonna reach.
Queensland. I can't remember. It's either New Zealand or Queensland where that's their expression.
Yes. We're looking for predictions here on what the final score might be. What the winning score. Let's not try and predict the winner at this stage. It's far too early, but
4 hours?
is it a 4-hour match?
Yes.
Okay, 4-hour match. Look at this. Rob shakes his head. He's almost never lost for an idea, but he's just been facing difficult openers.
I'm predicting 1,480.
As the winning score,
Yes.
I think you're way low. I think it's going to be over 2,000. Mind you, that this will be a well-contested match. You might be right. I'm going to modify my estimate to 1,800
5.
because they're both good players. Oh, just lost that. In a more lopsided match, much more.
10.
Might play the thin loser here and put the red in balk at the same time. Oh no, he's just played the safety.
Dave
He's
Causier.
left a pot up, oh.
I'm going to leave you on your own for a couple of minutes, Peter. I'm going to
That'll
try
be
and find a non-Australian voice to join
That'll be
you.
that'll be a good balance, I think. Yeah. Did he attempt the cannon there? The little left-hand side to make the cannon and keep the red near the corner pocket.
Five.
2 steps to get the white out, the yellow ball out of ball. Pushes it straight into drop cannon position. Okay, now he's got them where he wants them. Yellow's almost directly behind the spot. So when he comes down to make the cannon, he'll be tapping it closer to the top end cushion and may well work towards
14.
postman's knock. Doesn't mind playing postman's knock on the star tables.
19. Two. 24.
He's off the cushion again now, so back to floating white. Interesting that he doesn't try and take 2 pots with each cannon. He's quite happy to take
29.
a single pot, bring his white ball up higher. He might take an extra pot here.
32.
He's only allowed 2 pots off the spot, of course.
35. 37. 40. 42.
Well, we have a special treat for you now in commentary. The man who wrote the book, and then the book, and then the book. We're joined by the great Martin Goodwill, who's looking fantastic and has had a great tournament. Welcome aboard, Martin.
Thanks, Peter. Nice to be here. And of course, I did the books with my colleague Roger Morgan, who's fantastic at editing, and his knowledge of billiards is great as well. So a lot of credit to Roger for that. So what do you think of it so far, Peter, in this semi-final?
I think Rob's been a bit stiff. Dave's had a couple of misses, but every time Rob's come to the table, he's been faced with difficult choices. And has found it difficult to get a tight control. I don't think he's had them tight at top once yet. Oh, that's a pretty comprehensive cover. What's he play here, Martin? You'll know.
Double kiss off the top cushion. Oh,
See,
maybe not.
Even the guy that wrote the book can't commentate billiards.
He's, if you see Dave at the moment, he's well ahead, but he's frustrated with himself.
Yeah, well, I think they're both a bit frustrated. Dave frustrated with himself, and Rob frustrated with this.
Yeah.
That he's.
This is quite a rare occurrence for Dave to be not firing on all cylinders. He seems to go onto any table and play brilliant. He's just struggling at the moment.
Hasn't quite come up high enough to be in total control of the red there.
Might not look it, but they're pretty tight jaws, and you don't need to be far off for the ball to rattle and stay in the jaws.
Do you think they're as tight as Singapore?
I think they're about the same, really.
About the same, yes. It's
Yeah.
the same make. Bit of a lash there, but it's worked out. Turns to the red.
See, that's not fantastic because you could be sitting at home thinking, well, there's a long journey off the white, and there is, but
But it's not going to go.
it will go, but you have to do it so well. Whereas on a club table, it's a 9 or 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
That's a good shot.
that is a good shot. So how do you recover the white here? Do you bring the red up next to it?
I would, yeah. That's what I would aim to do. I mean, you don't have to bring it. He's brought it to the middle of the table. If he brings it near the baulk line, he can nudge that white. Yeah, just leave it for a
One
couple
more.
of options, a pot red and an in-off white.
So this time bring it to the white.
22.
Yeah, whether it's next to the white is the best option, I don't know, but where he's got it is fine.
So nudge the white over the middle pocket.
24.
Yeah, he's stuck the red down there. That's fine, isn't it?
That's good.
He's a good long potter. Well, actually, it's right over the hole, so. I was thinking he might knock the white behind the spot now.
Yep. In with a little screw. Yeah,
Sure.
26.
that's good. So this is going to plan. He looks to be in control. He hasn't looked in control for much of this match.
You know what? I've thought he looked pretty cool out there.
He always looks cool though, doesn't he? You wouldn't know whether
Yeah.
he's winning or losing. I mean, he's just so laconic.
Because he's missed a few shots he wouldn't normally miss. And he's had some awkward leaves, and
What you want again.
how did you find the tables, Peter?
Oh, they just directed me to them, Martin. I didn't have to look. They were all numbered. No, I found it difficult, to be honest with you. But you either see a lot of these conditions or you don't, and I don't.
41.
Had I had a bit more respect, I would have turned up early and had a bit of a practice. But as you know, I turned up on the first morning of play, unkempt, unwashed, unprepared. Robert Marshall sends his greetings to you, Martin.
What, the great Bob Marshall from Australia?
No, Robert Marshall, the ex-snooker pro.
Oh, well,
on
he was a great,
Facebook feed.
the great Rob Marshall, he's
There
a
were-
great
there were
billiards
two.
player.
There
Yeah.
were two. Well, they're both very fine billiards players.
46.
Just catches that red. Just catches.
Yeah, I remember, Robert Marshall sticking a 400 break into me once at the billiards in the English amateur. He's a really good player.
Yeah. Ex-snooker pro, obviously a fantastic pot.
Lovely timing, good cueist, yeah.
Yeah.
Get yourself back on the green bays, Rob.
So Rosalind Poole says, "Come on, Dave, Causier, T-side's number one." I hope you're not hurt by that, Martin.
Oh, I think I'm about number 30. When you look at all the great players from Teesside, I mean, there's
Stop it. Oh,
fabulous.
stop it.
And we haven't even got Mike Russell here,
No, that's right.
which is a shame. But even the guys that are not playing now, like Shutty and Lee Largan and all world champions.
Yeah.
Brilliant. What a great league that was.
Well, interesting now that you've got a couple of others.
63.
You've got Peter Sheehan from Liverpool.
Oh, what a talent he is, Peter.
Oh,
Good friend of mine. I
unbelievable,
mean,
isn't
he's
Unbelievable.
and I think he's only just starting, really. I mean,
Coming into his own, isn't he?
yeah.
I had the misfortune of playing him in the group stages. When I say the misfortune, it was actually a great honour. But he pumped in 1,008 against me in 90 minutes. And my mistake was that I double walked him off the break. And I should not have poked the bear. I should not have poked the bear. Because he then went 251, 173, 129, 125, back to back. And it was just awesome to watch. And moving at Causier-esque pace.
Yeah, I think he's just as quick as Dave.
73.
And not from the tee side,
No, he's from,
Liverpool.
yeah,
And Rob
the
Hawley.
dark side.
The dark side. It's not the dark side. You guys need a little competition. Rob Hall from Lincoln here.
I mentioned Bob Marshall, your great world champion from Australia. What's happened to his protege then, Matthew Bolton? Because he's a fantastic player.
Matthew's a fantastic player. Matt's taken a bit of time out. I think he's coaching his very talented son at cricket and is, I think, enjoying time away from the game. Matt had a very intense couple of years where he was winning everything in Australia, both in billiards and snooker. In fact, he's still to this day not been beaten by an Australian at billiards in the last 15 years, I think, that he was playing. Been beaten by a few of you guys coming over to visit, but nobody in Australia's come close to him. But he was also winning the snooker and got a ticket to the Pro Tour. Big ask for Matt there. He was trying to commute from Perth to play on the Pro Tour, and frankly I think that just drained him and took it out of him. And I think to some extent he's becoming a bit disillusioned with the game in Australia. Lack of competition, but too big a trip and too big a step up in terms of style at snooker to be effective on the UK Pro Tour. So taking, I think, a well-earned break, and we hope to see him back.
93.
Yeah, back to this game. I haven't been paying attention there, chatting away. Has he crossed the balk line?
We have been chatting away. I think he has crossed the balk line. Or maybe he hasn't if he's considering this so much. I mean, that could be the only thing he's taking time to consider here. Yep, so that's the balk line crossing right now. Wouldn't mind if that dropped. Wouldn't mind it at all.
98. Off line.
Doesn't. So Grant Meadley has helped us out on what Matt's doing. Yes, he's coaching cricket first grade club next year. So that would be Matt's very talented son. In fact, the whole family are filled with sporting talent. His cousin Nicole, I think, is wicketkeeper for the Australian women's cricket team. They've got athletes and stars in all kinds of sports. There's something in the water in Western Australia, I think.
Well, let's hope he gets back to playing billiards, because
Let's
it'd be a
hope.
shame if he never wins the World Championship. He's hit
Yeah.
the jaw.
Just caught that too thick, didn't he? It was like a bit too casual.
I think he's left a nice, easy start. Good break, though, from Rob.
Good break. Reduces the deficit. He's now back in the hunt.
Dave will be annoyed with that shot. I don't know whether he can make a middle pocket enough here without forcing it, so he'd be cross with himself.
So cushion first. No, it should have been cushion first, shouldn't it? So that
He's shaking his head. He's
frustrated, isn't he? He sets a very high bar. I mean, he's leading by almost double his opponent, and he's shaking his head.
Yeah, he knows he's had lots of chances, though.
Yep.
He's he's going to play safe here by the looks of it.
Miss. Yes, Causier.
Big shout out to the club here at Landywood. I think the conditions are as good as I've ever seen.
Yep.
The temperature of the tables, because they've all got under table heating, the temperature, just the air temperature is on a thermostat, so it's not too hot, not too cold. All the cloths are good, brand new.
So who fits the cloths here? Is that, do we tag on to the WPBSA table fitters here?
I did get told there's one chap, but I can't remember his name. Let's see if I can. I believe there's a chap called Rob Reed is the table fitter.
And he's
I
not.
don't know him, but he's obviously very good.
Yes.
The other thing I've not seen before on the tables is the covers. Have you seen this before?
The heavy vinyl covers, yeah.
No. Have you seen what's underneath them?
No.
Okay, so it's silica gel. The whole cover has got
Oh, really?
400, I think, over 400 pockets of silica gel.
To just take out the moisture?
Take out the moisture. Yeah, it's a really good idea. What a great shot, Rob.
What a great shot to get that wide out of block. Hasn't left himself
I think he's all right on the red.
completely obvious.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, they've got silica gel pads to take all the moisture out the cloth overnight, which is good.
Now, to get here, Rob Hall defeated Darren Clark, 1115 to 351, and David Causier defeated Steve Brookshaw, 1808 to 303. So two dominant performances from two dominant players.
16.
It's gone a little bit awkward.
Yes, he didn't want to be between those balls, did he?
Bob Hall, 16.
He's offered the pot opponent, and David says, yeah, okay, I could do that.
2, 4.
I see on the screen here, Barry Russell says hi. Came all the way to Landywood and somebody stole his van.
Yes. Yeah, he told me yesterday.
Dear
Welcome to
me.
Landywood. He still had the, despite having just lost the van, he had the presence of mind to then defeat Grant Hayward, 420 to 360. So,
Causier 10, Bob Hall 2.
so he must have trusted that the insurer will pay out. In fact, it took no less than Peter Gilchrist to knock Barry Russell out, who obviously had a very good tournament.
Miss. Causier 2.
Some of the surprises in the last 16. First time appearances in the last 16 for David Gillingham,
3,
for Ian Dennis. Not sure about Jason Goodwin. I'm sure he's appeared before.
6, Causier, 6.
Oh, Barry says in his van was a copy of Martin's book. That's obviously why they've stolen the van. They didn't actually want the van. They just wanted the book. It's out of print now.
See there, Dave's just slipped around the back of that red, and it's not going for Dave at the moment. He's not on all cylinders.
It's not going for Rob either, though.
I think he might pull something out here. I mean, he's got a great chance.
So he'd be setting up a pot red to leave an in off the white ball.
Somebody's asking for the to explain the crossing of the ball line. Go on,
Okay.
you go ahead, Peter. You know.
Well,
Best way to explain.
It doesn't apply in every tournament. In fact, it's only in the top echelons of World Billiards events. So what I call level 5 and level 6 events. And it's a rule that was designed to break up repetitive play, as so many of the rules in billiards are. And the administrators decided that to break up this top of the table play, where you can see the players anchor the balls at the top end of the table and get into a repetitive pot red cannon situation, that it would be required for the player to cross the balk line, and they have to cross the balk line from the top end towards the balk end, and they have to do that in a set period of play, and that set period of play is between the marks of 80 and 100 in every 100 points. Does that confuse you or clarify it? Probably confuse you. Confused me just saying it. Phil Davis, just love the pot whites and double balks. Should be more often. Phil Davis famously likes to play the double balk. In fact, I was delighted to see there was a. Did you ever see that YouTube clip a few years ago that for Phil's birthday that they set up a lineup up and down the centre line of the table? It was all white balls.
Was that at Roy's house, Roy Bacon?
I don't know. I
think it might be.
It was hilarious. Okay.
23,
Got them at top in a familiar position,
25,
and really for the first time in the match he's had them tight there. So Martin, when you are a competent top of the table player, is this a time that you can almost just revert to muscle memory and...
Oh, well, it is for the likes of Peter and perhaps Dave and Rob probably, but if you're not used to these cloths, you're thinking all the time because the balls spring wide and they're so lively that unless you've practiced a lot on these cloths, I don't think you can go to muscle memory. But certainly Rob's not thinking, he's not having to work out anything. He's done it so many times before. So he's going to get a little angle on this pot red. He'll pot the red and leave an angle to knock the white off. So his next shot, what he'd like to do, if he could, is
43,
leave the red for a pot and come to the left side of the white, slip through it. He might just rest on it, I don't know. Yeah, he's resting on it.
45,
The problem with that is it's on the cushion now. He might want to play a bit of what they call postman's knock with it jammed against the cushion.
48,
I've noticed Causier has been playing a bit of postman's knock, which is quite easy to play on this table. So I think that was a deliberate case of Rob deciding he'll stick it tight behind the spot and play a bit of postman's knock.
55.
Now, here's one for the sponsors. Is any particular Q-tip better for billiards? I don't know. Martin might know. Soft, hard. Is it a personal preference thing?
Oh, I'm not a big fan of soft tips.
61.
Personally, I know one or two people play with them. Most of the top players play with fairly hard tips. To be honest, I always play with a blue diamond or an elk master, but these new tips, is it Paradigm? Paradigm.
Paradigm, they were the sponsors in Singapore, you might recall, the two chaps from Singapore who came down. And
Yeah.
But they now have a number of ambassadors for their product, including Rob Hall, that you're watching at the moment. Peter Gilchrist is playing with Paradigm, and Peter Sheehan is also playing with Paradigm tip. So,
Yeah, I've heard the very, very good tips. And in fact, there's a capital P in it and there's a capital G in it because Peter Gilchrist had something to do it. So I call them PG tips.
PG Tips, which is a brand of tea here in the UK.
That's right, yeah. But I've not played with one, but I've heard they're very good.
Well, you can do worse, I think, in a lot of sports than follow the pros and play with the equipment the pros are playing with. I guess they're doing it for a living and they're not going to be compromising their performance to be using something which is not good. I know in Australia that the Paradigm tips are represented by my club mate Jason Hastings, who's doing a very good job promoting those.
So this is an...
Oh, that's a friendly draw.
That'll do, won't it?
That'll do fine.
So he's got a...
87. He's got a book line.
He might
crossing
do it with his pot.
Could do it here,
Yes.
up and down.
He's going to.
He's
isn't he?
betting, well, he set it narrow for that reason, so yes. Waqar Hassan, kindly someone tell me what is the concept behind it. You mean this game that you're watching, Waqar? Can I, rather than try and explain the long and complex history and methodology of billiards, I will commend to you a YouTube video that we produced in 2019. So have a look on YouTube at a video called How English Billiards is Played. Oh, that's an uncharacteristic miss from Rob there. So that video lays out the method of scoring and some of the common patterns of play. But of course, it's just an introduction. All I would suggest is that you get 3 balls and start knocking them around.
Dave won't be happy with that. He's put the red in balk.
Won't be at all happy. So up and down the table to put both balls back in balk.
Yeah, Causier, 4.
So on your standard club table, if you're a billiards player, you'll realise that you can, if you have this sort of position, you're double balked, you can play off the side rail, out a balk, and like Rob's doing now. Hard luck,
Ooh,
Rob.
does he make it?
No, he's gone around the back. You can play off the side rail, and putting a decent amount of side on, you can go into the corner pocket or even hit the balk cushion. Well, there's no chance of doing that on these tables. It slides so much you can't get near the corner pocket.
Mm. We're both frustrated now, both very frustrated with this. Now, on a club table, this pot red would be at Rob Hall's mercy.
Yeah, he's such a good potter, but
But here on the stars, that kind of a pot, balk rail.
mind you, I mean, you look at the snooker players and they knock those in for fun, but it's a tough shot. Oh, it's gone round the back of it.
They left almost an identical shot for David. Yeah, neither of them are enamoured with this red. Real AMC says, any particular billiard drills for solo practice to improve? Let us ask the coach's coach, Martin. What drills would you recommend, Martin?
Well, I'm not sure of your standard at the moment, but all billiards players start off by trying to get command of the red ball. So 2 balls, just take one of the either the white or the yellow off the table and use the other one, and work on your middle pocketing offs, because that can win games on its own. And work on a consistent half ball and see if you can make as many hazards as you can. And it's really the red ball game that the likes of Dave Causier learnt to begin with, and it's the basis for the rest of it, really. I was fortunate enough to play a lot with Jack Carnham, great Jack Carnham, and he made a 1300 break just off the red alone. Obviously, it wouldn't be a proper break because at the moment the rules are you can only make 15 hazards, so 45 if you're just doing one in off at a time. But he made 1300. Shows you how good he was. So that's what I would recommend is get command of the red ball.
So on the inside of the red here.
Good shot.
Great shot. Just not coming right for either of them.
4.
Oh, he didn't want that red to go in.
He's got the run through off the yellow.
And that'll put the yellow back in play. Didn't like it.
I'm surprised.
Didn't trust it. Now he's got nothing.
It's quite an interesting game, this, because you very rarely see
Two
Dave.
players, well, either of them struggle to this extent.
Causier, 11.
Yeah, I think Dave's struggling more than Rob, even though he's ahead. He's had a lot of reasonable chances.
Okay, you'll be sick by now of an Australian voice, so this isn't home and away. So we'll ask Chris Coombe to rejoin us in just a moment. Thanks.
Good shot.
2.
Okay, we've just heard that the Gilchrist game and Sheehan, Peter Sheehan's just knocked in a 360, so that's put the game back in the midst of it. He's very fluent, Peter Sheehan, and very good at the top of the table, so I guess it wouldn't have taken more than 20 minutes to knock that break in.
Yeah, hi Martin. Yeah, I was watching that one.
Oh, did you?
Fantastic break. Yeah, just
Was it all top of the table?
yeah, you looked to be well in full flow at the top there and floating white.
3.
I mean, great break, and it's a hard one to call. Really, obviously, looks like Gilchrist is going to have a lead going into the second session, but I know Sheehan's been playing well. And,
Oh, he's not hit that hard enough. It's not going to make it.
Rob Hall, 3.
Rob's still in touch here, isn't he? Really? I mean,
Yeah, a little PK here, he'll get enough.
2.
To be fair, I think Dave's had a lot of chances, and he's a bit frustrated with himself, but he's playing shots like that you never see, leaving the ball in baulk. It's just...
what sort of impact do you think the interval will have on the two players then? Because that can sometimes change things slightly with a bit of a break in play, a chance to reflect on things, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. Might settle Dave down a bit. Great pot. I often think Dave would have been a great snooker player if he never plays, does he? He doesn't hardly ever plays a frame.
Yeah, such a solid potter, isn't he?
You know, I think that's one of his great strengths is these pots around the spot.
13.
He just knocks them in. Well, this is it. He'll miss this one now, but he's generally very strong at the potting side. So Dave will be looking to
18.
make a decent break here to settle himself down.
Right. 22. 24.
All the time he's trying to just manoeuvre the balls to get the white behind the spot.
26.
I think he's just about done it.
Yeah, if he's got the angle, I guess you can screw behind the yellow here, do you think, to play the recovery?
Yeah, I think he's got it. Good shot.
32. 34.
Yeah, so back in prime position then with 9 minutes. No, 19 minutes to go, isn't it? So, yeah, so be interested to see whether he can stay at the table for that remainder of period of time there.
Two. 44. 46.
It's great to see them play this sort of pattern of play, Martin, isn't it? When he just knocked the yellow up to the line and restore
Yeah.
it again. And
I think Dave's improved at the top. He was always good, but I think I don't know, the last year he's gone up another level. We've got a question here from Brody Conroy. How many times can you pot the red in a row?
6.
Over to you.
well, you can play 15 consecutive hazards, which a hazard is basically a scoring shot that's not a cannon, so a pot on and off. So if you play a pot and an in off, it's basically one hazard. So you could pot it 15 times consecutively if you like, but then you'd have to play a cannon, to continue your break. But that's not something that the top players do. But off the spot, 2 consecutive pots on the spot, and the red goes up onto the middle. So you do see that occasionally, but yeah, generally these players are pots and cannons, top of the table. Float and white, postman's knock are the 2 main terms that you hear. So this is the float and white really that Causier is playing at the moment. Seem to be getting a bulk line warning as well.
75.
But it's a bit trickier to do if you're not at the top though, Martin, isn't it? Because you have to sort of think about it a bit more, I think, rather than the usual round the table pot red.
Yeah, that's an interesting statement you've just made there, Chris. So Chris has just said, and he's dead right, it's quite difficult to cross the balk line if you're not at the top.
81.
Well, the balk line
28.
crossing rule was brought in to stop people going to the top. And as Chris says, it's hard to do if you're not at the top. So it does the opposite. It gets you to the top. So unfortunately, it wasn't really well thought out. It looks good and it's fun to see. And it's a bit of spectator sport, but it doesn't stop you going to the top at all.
86.
Yeah, that's right. And the top players have mastered it, haven't they? That shot, side cushion, bulk cushion, and the two side cushions, top cushion, and
88.
that's the shot that if they got the best position they can play. But we can just see the other table there. Peter Gilchrist at the table. And well, I'm not sure the exact score, but he's still got a lead there, so we'll be looking to maintain that for the rest of this session.
93. 96.
Peter Gilchrist is on a break and leading by 116, we've been told, so thanks Sam for that. Just getting the cue ball cleaned. Don't want to risk any kicks at this stage, but
There hasn't been too many kicks over the whole tournament as far as...
99.
I think there was one in the final, in this match here, but have you had many kicks?
no, none at all. Maybe once or twice perhaps, but yeah, they do quite rare, I think. Yeah. I think with the chalk, a lot of people are using the new chalk. And are you a converted chalk?
I don't like it. I don't like the new chalk. I think it's a load of rubbish. I think
109.
the amount of miscues I've seen with it, and the pro snooker players as well, you seem to get these horrible miscues, and I don't fancy it. But anyway,
112.
Yeah,
obviously a lot of people think it's fantastic, so yeah.
I guess if you're used to
Each
doing it
to
so
their
long,
own,
it's,
yeah.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's
Do you use it?
I do, yeah. I mean, it's
Do you like it?
yeah. I mean, I think it's it does keep the table clean, which is, you know.
Well, a lot of the tables I've come to have these little white specks on them,
Oh, right.
which is, I presume, from that chalk. I don't know.
117.
Anyway, it seems to be the in thing. Sorry.
120.
So Dave having to restore the yellow slightly here. I think it's just gone a bit away from the spot though, but
125.
probably could get it perfect position in one shot. But a few shots down the line, I think we'll see that yellow right back there
128.
in the perfect position.
He's a bit wide here,
30.
so he's couldn't quite get the right angle on the red, but he's fine. So he's got that yellow
123.
in a decent position. He'd like it slightly to one side of the spot if he can get it, which
135.
not that far though. I love the way Dave is so fluent. I mean, he's under a little bit of self-imposed pressure maybe here that he's not been playing at his usual excellent standard, but
43.
he doesn't mess about and get bogged down. He just gets on with it, and I think that's one of his great strengths. He's got a great rhythm.
146. 148.
Yeah, when he's in full flow, it's hard to know, you know, what the state of the match is really. He just sort of gets into his usual tempo. And
151.
yeah, we had a question on the stream there on the comments about when is the final. It's a sort of 5-hour final at 1 p.m. tomorrow, Thursday. That's 1 p.m. UK time.
156.
So we've got a comment on who is doing the commentary with myself. That's Martin Goodwill, one of our very top players in the game.
160.
Yeah, it used to be 30 years ago.
No, not at all. Still fantastic to watch, Martin. You know, it's,
Yeah, I think I'm well past my sell by, but anyway, I still enjoy playing, and it's nice to compete in these tournaments.
166.
So Dave will probably slip through this and nudge the... Oh, he hasn't. He's kept it tight on the cushion, so he's going to go for a bit of postman's knock, maybe.
yeah, we were mentioning earlier about the 600 break that Dave Causier made in Singapore last year, and that was a lot of postman's knock.
3.
So
Yeah.
not something that all the top players kind of obviously they can all play it, but I know Dave doesn't mind at all making, and he's quite happy to sort of keep that run going, isn't he? Whereas other players maybe prefer the floating white.
7-8. From 181, bulk line 180.
Bulk line warning has been given.
That little shot, it's after the event, but he just nudged that yellow a little bit further to the centre of the top cushion, which is a lovely little shot.
189.
He's going to cross the bulk line here.
And you always play it, don't you, to hit the top cushion last, and so we just caught the jaw there, but I think still pretty good. Yeah. Back in prime position again.
197. 199. Two 205. 207.
He's making this look easy. He's so quick, isn't he, to score? It just rattles up the brakes.
Yeah, certainly would be interested to know the average shot times.
215.
But, there's just
270.
one shot just flows into another, doesn't it, really? Just a couple of feathers normally with Causier, and
Yeah.
220.
fairly short backswing, I suppose, no longer than it needs to be, I guess. But then,
222.
yeah, just great to watch him in full flow.
225.
Not quite got the right angle here, so probably pot and come off a couple of cushions. He's just stunned it through. You don't have to be perfect for this particular cannon, because if you're a little bit wide or narrow, he was absolutely perfect for that. He didn't put any side on. As he pots the red there, if he's probably a little bit narrow, so he might use a little bit of right-hand side here. You might see there, see the check side. And when the two balls meet, they're like two cogs rotating in machinery.
238.
Maybe a little bit of check side again. Yeah,
40.
and you can see just jams the yellow on the top cushion.
243.
Well, this is giving Dave a sizable lead.
Yeah, I guess it's come at a good time, really, just to sort of assert his authority before the end of this session and to start the next session in what you hope will be a perfect position, really, to carry on. It's already up to 251 now.
253.
Yeah, this is a lovely effort from Dave, because
256.
I think he was getting a little bit frustrated with himself, and he's pulled himself together, and this has been a great effort.
261. 264. 266.
When he's played that enough, he wants to leave a pot into the middle pocket. He's left it enough, but what he doesn't want to do is play a drop cannon. if he can help it, because then he'd knock the white, or the yellow as it is at the moment, he'd possibly knock it away from the spot. So he's made every effort to do exactly what he's done, not to play the drop cannon.
7-7. 7-9. Two 81, Barclay morning 8.
Now we'll have to consider the bulk line crossing.
284.
Could get back to the top here and then on this drop cannon to leave an angle on a pot.
286.
Probably play a couple more shots, I guess, before attempting that. Looks a bit straight, this one, doesn't it?
He hasn't got long to go, has he? But he's going to do it off this. Or he might pot this and leave a pot off the centre spot. No, he's going round. Pankaj Advani often plays sometimes plays two pots off the spot, sticks it on the centre spot, and then off the pot off the centre spot takes the cue ball in and out of ball.
Yeah, that pot off the spot at pace was a lot harder shot than it looked really, wasn't it? But
yeah, these tables can make you look silly, missing pots like that, but they are. They're so tight, the pockets.
302.
This is a great break, isn't it? It's just when he needed it. Oh, what a great shot.
306.
yeah, fantastic. Just
Just got down, sighted it, and bosh, straight in.
didn't give himself any time to doubt himself or, have any other sort of thoughts in his mind. Just,
308.
yeah, fantastic shot. Yeah, it looks like it's gone far enough. Maybe in a couple of shots' time to going off in the middle, leave a drop cannon. Looks like it's close enough to the middle.
Yeah, well done, Dave. Anyway, 300 break just at the right time.
A little bit too far there, slightly.
He might play the cannon. Might do.
311. 313. 316.
Okay, yeah, so we had an update that Peter Gilchrist is at the table on a break of 150 plus, so he's going to have a nice lead going into the second session against Peter Sheehan.
But Dave, looking at the clock there, he wants to make sure he holds the table. There's a couple of minutes left, and he's definitely wants to be on the table at the resumption of play. Put this yellow behind the spot.
326.
Quite done it.
Yeah, ideally, I suppose he'll want a nice, easy starter read to come back to if he can. But yeah, time's sort of ticking away. Not too long now until just a minute or so before the timer goes off for the end of the first session.
Yeah, I always think if it comes to the end of the time
332.
and you've got a tricky shot, it's best to get that shot over with while you're still queuing. You don't want to come to the table cold and have to play the tricky shot, but it's an easy one. You take your time. Great way to finish the session.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, great break. And it could still carry on much.
It could be a very large break, especially since he's going to get a bit of a break, a bit of a rest in the interval. 11 seconds. Oh, there we go.
Yeah, so there we are. So Dave Causier has a nice lead there, 878 to 375, and on a break of 344 unfinished. It's going to be a 30-minute break and then another session of 2 hours. So there we are. Thanks to Martin Goodwill for joining us, and Peter Tangard and Jason Colbrick earlier. And we'll see you in about half an hour. Thanks a lot.
Back at halfway, folks.
Back at half five. Very good game.
So whereabouts do you live then?
Shropshire.
Oh, you live in Shropshire.
Country bumpkins.
It's not a part of the country I'm familiar with down here.
No, not very long.
This is a fucking good brand new one. Huh?
It is a good venue,
What makes that suit anyway?
When they made good suits then.
Looks like a Cavani. Cavani.
Yeah, the only fields. Yeah.
Yeah, Cavani, yeah.
I mean, just that's the spot. I think the bottom should also be more so.
Do you recognise that bloke in the picture?
Huh?
Do you recognise this bloke? You recognise him, don't you?
No.
Ginger Taylor.
I've only seen him from a distance.
Oh, right.
I've only seen him from an audience and he's on the stage.
Oh, right.
He's always, I think, is he a Whitby lad?
No, he's from Todd Morden.
From where?
Todd Morden.
Where the fuck's that?
Yorkshire, on the border with Lancashire and Yorkshire.
Yeah, well, that's why he does Whitby then.
He does all the north stuff.